number is real stupid.
Sup, guys?
Citizens can't think for themselves. How much do they eat in a day?
Well, everyone's body has different needs, but I
I'm
guess
back.
if we were to grossly overgeneralize an
I haven't
average,
streamed in a while because my content is not interesting without a mic.
2,350? Yeah. How are you supposed to
Pardon
remember
the
such
background
a
noise, by the way.
weird number?
Also,
Let's round it down to 2,000. The fatties will thank us later. So they literally just rounded down?
Yes, they quite literally did. And the fact is, any single number would be wrong because there is a massive variation in the number
Also,
of
Javin,
calories needed
so
by
you know,
men,
have you seen
women,
Dark Viper
elderly,
use like
tall
streams
people, short
where he
people,
starts off
even
with
people
that?
in the background who aren't supposed to be part
Look
of
what
our
I got
show.
too,
It's
Javin.
basically impossible
I
to
got
know
that
with
background
precision
too.
exactly
That's
how
Dark
many
Viper I
calories your
use.
body needs.
Oh, but we can still cut
It's actually my
calories.
cover photo for my YouTube, but
100 calories. Simple, precise.
And essentially a guess. Calorie counts on labels are often estimated based on century-old data.
Well, this fourth one is 100 calories. So I guess this one is 100 calories.
And the FDA legally allows calorie labels to be off by 20%.
I like that.
Or maybe it's 80 calories. Or 120. Who knows? I'm lazy.
And that's just packaged foods. Calories in fresh foods can vary year to year or even item to item.
Step right up. Try your luck. Guess which farm fresh meal is 700 calories and which is 1,000. But beware, guess wrong and you'll ruin your waistline.
And restaurant food is the worst. One study found that menu listings are often
I'm
off by
fat.
hundreds of calories. Aren't you worried about misleading?
I'm live, by the way, Javin.
On what?
YouTube.
YouTube sucks! While we're watching.
I'm about to cut.
Building a wall would actually increase the number of illegal immigrants in America.
What? How could it possibly?
Here, I'll show you.
I'm eating meat!
I'm live, by the way, Javin.
Building a wall would be practically
I'm actually behind on the stream,
This
right?
is where it would be.
Wait, I can say something that could actually be, like, cancel me.
Let's.
It would have to stretch
Slay.
It's a button. I know there's a button to mute, but I don't know the button to.
Oh.
It just zoomed. No, don't do that. Stop it! No! Oh my goodness.
Wait, what's on the end stream?
Almost. Almost. Fucking almost.
Don't. Eat that, Bernadette.
That's for you, shit stain.
Motherfucker.
I'm the glizzy globulator.
astronomical.
Anyway, guys. Back from that fucking shithole called my life. Wait, fight as in fight to the death?
Behind me are 100.
No, that's not. Who up wonking their Woody right now?
Welcome to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I don't.
Welcome to Charlie and the
Confusion.
Chocolate Factory. There sorts of chocolate bars being made and 5 golden tickets being placed into them at random and sent off to random locations. And the narrator introducing us to Moist Critical, who lives with his family that is not rich, not powerful, has no connections, has no business, and as far as I can tell, is the only family with their own house and own land. Otherwise, they're probably strict. He lives in a freaking house with his grandparents who have been bedridden for years, presumably, and his mom and dad. His mom is a stay-at-home mom who doesn't have a track food factory for families, or you'll lose them. God damn it, Gordon Ramsay would be ashamed. And his dad has a shitty little paying job at
I don't want to watch that because that's just
Hey, David.
Feet?
David.
Huh?
I'm going to show you how to race from New York to Los Angeles as fast as you can without stopping. The race is called the Cannonball, and honestly, it's less of a race and more of a battle against the law. A battle that requires a bulletproof plan, a very modified car, and a team with a couple of screws loose. Doug Tappet, Arnie Taman, and Dunadel Daryush. This is the
I love pickles.
On September 11, 2001, terrorists struck the United States and launched the world.
Look at the guy's eyes.
The global war on
Look at them.
After decades of Cold War preparations, the U.S. and its allies found themselves unprepared for this new asymmetric war. But
make
they were
room
very
for your
quick
brother.
marks. First, though, the U.S. had to deal with the literal wreckage from the attack.
Hey,
both the Pentagon
bro,
and the World Trade
Delmar,
Center had suffered
lay down.
catastrophic damage.
Come here, Delmar.
But the Pentagon was only partially destroyed. The World Trade Center would be a near total loss. Immediately upon realizing the homeland was under attack, the United States took the unprecedented steps of ordering all civilian aircraft in U.S. airspace to land at the nearest available airport. Hundreds of aircraft from various nations were all forced to land or face the wrath of the U.S. Air Force, which was not in the mood for discussion that day. Tens of thousands of travelers had their travel plans hopelessly disrupted as aircraft landed on the nearest available airfield all across the U.S. French tourists on their way to Hawaii were suddenly stuck in Montana.
Oh, oui.
I would like to watch the app that I have, the app that shows me the planes radar.
Flight radar.
On 9/11.
I don't even think there was internet
Fucking
much.
disappeared. Just gone from the face of the planet.
At Domino's,
Probably just the face of your mama.
just amazing, delicious pizza. There's also lava cakes, bread bites, and more.
Great.
And the shutdown of air traffic affected incoming aircraft as well. U.S. Air Force F-15s and F-16s loaded for air-to-air combat immediately took up air defense patrols over the American West and East coasts, as well as the airspace west of Alaska and north of North America. The United States implemented DEFCON 3, or Defense Condition 3, across all its military facilities around the world. This meant that U.S. forces, especially the Air Force, had to be ready to mobilize at a moment's notice, with all the Air Force combat planes ready to take off to the sky within 15 minutes of alert. The U.S. wasn't just worried about further terrorist attacks using civilian airliners. It was sending a clear and strong signal to any would-be adversary that while the U.S. had just taken a nasty sucker punch to the face, it was still on its feet and ready to fight. Any attempts to capitalize on U.S. confusion and weakness and the immediate aftermath of the attacks would be met with immediate and overwhelming force, including nuclear if need be. Civilian aircraft incoming to the United States were immediately ordered from entering American airspace. Anyone wishing to complain could take it up with the Air Force F-15s. Nobody did. Planes were diverted to Canada and Mexico, causing a global aviation logjam and chaos that would last for days. The first priority were search and rescue efforts at both the Pentagon and the World Trade Center. The Pentagon had been a priority target, though each hijacker had been instructed that if they couldn't reach their intended targets, they had the freedom to use their own initiative and choose secondary targets. Anyone who couldn't do either or experienced any difficulties was to immediately crash their planes. Also, the very visual symbol of American global power, the Pentagon, had been high on the list of targets. But the attack did only relatively minor damage to the huge structure. 125 Pentagon workers were killed in the attack, 70 civilians and 55 military personnel, mostly U.S. Army or U.S. Navy employees. The highest-ranking casualty was Lieutenant General Timothy Maud, an Army Deputy Chief of Staff. Thanks to reinforced construction techniques, though, the Pentagon was a particularly tough target to take on, and the damage was limited considering the incredible amount of energy released upon impact. At the World Trade Center site, though, things were far more grim. Firefighters from the New York City Fire Department rushed to the scene of the attack and braved the smoke, dust, and raging firestorm above their heads. Falling debris made the task even more difficult after the towers collapsed in on themselves. Engine 10 and Ladder 10 were the first to arrive on scene, since their firehouse was directly across the street, and at 8:50 a.m. an incident command post was established in the lobby of the North Tower. However, due to safety concerns, the command post was moved across West Street. This would end up saving the lives of many senior officials, though many more died as the North Tower lobby was still being used to coordinate rescue operations when the tower collapsed. Tragically, a repeater system meant to help with radio communications during an emergency had failed due to the attack. and the fire chiefs were unable to contact many of their men when the order to evacuate had been given. As a result, many firefighters and first responders, some who had no radios and had simply shown up in their off-duty hours to assist, were lost in the collapse. 343 firefighters would die from both tower collapses. The command post on West Street was taken out by falling debris, which also killed New York Fire Department Chief Peter Ganchi. A new command post was set up in a firehouse in Greenwich Village, from where a response from half of all New York Fire Department units, as well as volunteers from Nassau, Suffolk, Westchester County, and others could be managed. Other volunteers who did not make it to the site instead went to firehouses now short on personnel in order to cover their duties for the duration of the search and rescue efforts. Just hours after the collapse, though, firefighters erected a flag taken from a nearby yacht on the scene of the attack, evocative of the famous Iwo Jima flag raising photograph. The medical response began immediately after the first impact, with the casualty staging area moved to the corner of Bessie and West Streets.
Wasn't it in a Pizza Hut or a burger?
You're wondering why? Why come in and don't delete your videos? Your videos are perfect. I would never waste your time. I'm going on a national.
Five triage areas would be set up around the entire site, as volunteers flooded in to assist with a massive number of casualties being brought off the site. Triage centers while neighboring hospitals spread the flow of critical supplies. Sadly, emergency medical services would end up treating very few individuals, mostly smoke inhalation patients. Truth is, very few people would end up surviving the collapse of the tower. Both medical triage areas were shut down the next day. On the water, the U.S. Coast Guard mobilized as many assets as it could to aid in evacuating people stranded on Manhattan Island. Counterterrorism patrols by watercraft were also conducted in an attempt to thwart any possible follow-up attacks on either civilians or the emergency responders themselves. Short on resources, the Coast Guard sent out a call for ships to assist with the evacuation of Manhattan Island, while other ships such as John J. Harvey were critical in firefighting efforts. With many water mains severed by the collapse, the John J. Harvey fireboat that had operated since 1930 would speed to the proximity of the site, alongside two other FDNY fireboats to pump water to the site so that firefighters could fight the blaze amongst the wreckage for 80 hours until the water mains were repaired. In 8 hours following the attack, anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million people were evacuated from Manhattan. In fact, America's own Dunkirk, and considered to be the largest maritime evacuation in history. To assist with communications, amateur radio operators set up emergency networks or joined up hundreds of volunteers forming public brigades, with official emergency networks completely overrun.
So this is your last chance. There's only a few more days to get involved, so you have to check out tickets. Next year, they will only let me if you guys speed run me through the industry, so Americans bully your English.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Dylan. Welcome back to BeamNG Drive. Today we're checking out what might possibly be the mod of the year. I have not seen anything like this ever in this game. And of course, we're talking about the Lego car. Only we can't call it the Lego car. It's technically the toy building block car. So, but yeah, it's pretty much a Lego car. So I want to point out that there is 104 different versions of this car. It's just a little bit ridiculously awesome. That is. There's also like how many 6 different trailers that go with it.